All right. Well, I'm just asking questions for my senior project. My first question is, where do you get your news?
I get it from the BBC. Yeah.
What news source do you trust the least?
Probably Fox News.
So BBC is your most trusted news source?
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Good. All right. Let's skip the.
I'm going in how they're undermining the youth. Okay, so, but I dislike I dislike the Fox News attitude of undermining the youth on all the traditional things that have been set forward for people to use and to advance themselves. So whenever we go to like Channel 2, they gave a report last night on the unions that they were taking advantage and just laying down on the job painting the bridge. It's absolutely ridiculous that people with that type of income and targeted for the strength of language to be so lazy and retarded in the rhetorical report. And so that's basically what I dislike about the undermining of America.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a nice day.
Good one. Good one.
Wow, that was really cool. That was good. They don't speak. They don't speak English.
Yeah, we don't speak English.
No English?
No.
Enjoy.
Very school project.
So, do you watch the news, sir?
No.
Where do you get your news sources?
Newspaper headlines, internet, basically.
What is your least trusted news source?
It's superficial TV. Yeah.
And how well informed do you feel about the information you're getting?
Well, I admit that I don't inform myself, so I admit some culpability in that. My intake of the news is pretty superficial. So there's that. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Thank you, man. That's nice. That's really nice. That's good.
I don't want to be filmed.
Oh, well, then that's okay.
All right.
Go for it.
Where do you get your news, sir?
Probably the internet.
And what is your least trusted news source?
Most of them actually. Probably Fox. Yeah.
Why is that?
I feel like they're biased towards right wing.
And so, what news source do you lean towards?
I guess that's a mix of things. I don't know.
On the internet,
Internet.
where you go?
Either CNN or Huffington Post or some other kind of independent kind of thing like that. Or yeah.
And do you feel well informed?
As well as I want to be, I guess. I don't have time like to research everything, the whole day. I have other things to do too, so.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Hey, thanks so much.
I appreciate it. School projects.
It's not like,
All right.
The news I watch?
Okay, go for it.
Where do you get your news?
Like real news? Fox. Yeah.
Do you trust Fox?
I just look at it. I don't trust it, not trust it. It doesn't really matter to me.
Do you? How about you?
I watch ABC Channel 7 News.
What is your least trusted news source?
Mine is Fox.
Okay.
Yeah.
You taking jabs? Yeah. My least. I never really watch like NBC or what is it, CBS. I watch Fox or ABC.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Really appreciate it.
That's great.
Hey guys.
Organization you're watching. So would you get the mic with Ivar?
Yeah.
Put the microphone up to your mouth.
Yeah. Where do you get your news?
KTVU, Channel 2 News.
And what is your least trusted news source?
I don't have one. Yeah.
Do you feel well informed on the news you get?
Yes.
All right. How about you, sir? Where do you get your news?
Channel 2 News.
What is your least trusted news source?
Probably TMZ.
And you feel well informed on everything you read?
Most things. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thanks. Excuse me. Hi. We were just looking for make some time. Go for it. Ladies, we have a quick question. Yes, please stop. Yes, excellent. Well, we just got to ask you just two questions. Very simple questions. Do it.
All right. Where do you get your news?
Online.
What is
The New York Times.
what is the most least trusted source? Let me do that again. Sorry. What is the least trusted news source that you know of?
Well, The Onion, I guess, but it's really funny to read.
It's true. Yeah. How about you? Where do you get your news?
On TV and like local news and stuff like that.
What is your preferred news source?
I don't know. I watch Channel 2 sometimes, which is the local one around here. So.
All right. How about you? Where do you get your news?
Newspaper.
What is the most least trusted news source that you know of?
What she said. I don't know.
All right. And where do you get your news?
Online.
What is your preferred news source?
Like New York Times or The Guardian.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thanks, Gal. Can I ask you a quick question? Okay. We're gonna go ahead and ask him.
What's up?
Yeah, can I ask you guys some questions?
What's up right here, y'all? What's up?
All right.
Do it.
All right. Where do you get your news?
Nigga, from the news.
Instagram.
Nigga. You know the news, nigga. You know it. Anyway.
All right. What is the what news source do you trust the least or the most?
K2.
Facebook for sure.
KTV, UTV.
KTV, Instagram. On Facebook, you for sure know it's going. Twitter.
Channel 2.
You heard it here first. KTVU.
Channel 2, KTVU.
We want to be on KTVU.
All right.
You want to be on TV though?
What's the next question?
Any question? You want any question?
Yeah, you got the
No,
question.
I already asked you. No, thanks. Please.
Why not? I can hit you with this.
Ask him.
Can I ask you a question?
Hey, what you want to ask me?
What is the?
You
You gotta get going. Get it together, okay? You gotta ask the questions. You can't be goofing around.
All right. What news source do you trust the least?
Who?
News source.
I don't even know. What
KTVU. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's nothing. Thanks, my friend.
Where do you get your news?
Yahoo, internet, pretty much.
What news source do you trust the least?
The least? TMZ, I don't know.
Do you feel well informed on the news you get?
About a 7, I guess, overall, because a lot of it's misinformation, so it's kind of hard to actually find the real information that really affects you and stuff.
All right, thanks. Have a nice day. A few questions for a movie for a school project? Really quick. It's just. Where do you get your news?
Online.
What news source do you trust the least?
The least, probably like Reddit, I guess.
What is your most trusted news source?
I like The Verge, personally.
Do you feel well informed?
I do.
How about you, sir? Where do you get your news?
I don't watch the news that much, but probably on TV.
All right, and what news source do you trust the least?
KTV Channel 2, I think. That's what I usually watch. The most. That's what.
And do you feel well informed?
I think I could be better informed, but because I don't watch it that much. So.
How about you? Where do you get your news?
Mostly the internet, The Verge, TechCrunch, places like that.
And what news source do you trust the least?
Again, Reddit. Never can believe it.
And you feel well informed?
For the most part, yeah. It depends, but some things you really have to like dig deep down to find, and other things you are like really, really difficult to find. But yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a nice day. Appreciate it.
Hey, you guys, that's a beautiful looking pizza. Would you answer one or two quick
questions?
question?
Just for a school project.
It's just a school project. It's real simple.
Really quick. Where do you get your news?
My parents.
So, what is your most trusted news source?
New York Times.
And what is the least trusted news source?
I'm not really sure.
All right. How about you? Where do you get your news?
I don't know, just off the internet somewhere.
So, what is the most least trusted news source that you know of?
I don't know.
All right. Well, enjoy your pizza. Have a nice day.
So go for it.
Sir, where do you get your news?
Mostly from my friends and my parents who watch the news. I don't watch a lot of news myself.
So do you feel well informed?
Not really. Sometimes.
What news source do you trust the least?
Internet news can be not very informative and true.
All right, thanks. Have a nice day, sir. Appreciate it.
Jeez. They're gonna go far online. Not. Guys, we've got a question. Just a simple question. All right. Go for it. Right here.
All right.
No, it's nothing. It's for a school project.
It's just a school project. I'm gonna ask you first, and you. All right. Where do you get your news?
TV.
TV. What is the least trusted news source for you?
Fox.
And what is your most trusted news source?
I don't know. I like NPR.
Do you feel well informed?
Pretty well informed.
How about you? Where do you get your news?
TV or the internet.
What is the least trusted news source for you?
Anything that has a .com.
.com. And do you feel well informed?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, enjoy your icy.
Thank you.
Hey, okay, go dive in there and just tell us.
Sir, where do you get your news?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. Do you look for news?
Occasionally.
Do you feel well informed?
When I need to be.
How about you? Where do you get your news, sir?
New York Times or Forbes sometimes.
What is your most least trusted news source?
The HuffPost. I don't know why.
All right. How about you? Where do you get your news?
TV, internet,
Do you feel well informed?
to some degree.
What is your least trusted news source?
They're all different. I don't trust a lot of them for different things. I trust some for different things also.
All right. Thanks. Enjoy your guys' day.
Thanks, guys. That wasn't hurtful. Great one.
All right.
Maybe not. Hey, guys. We just want to ask you one quick question.
That cool?
Yeah.
Where do you get your news?
I don't really.
So you don't feel well informed?
Not that well informed.
How about you? Where do you get your news, sir?
Kind of the same place, nowhere, but I do not feel as informed as I should be.
And how about you? Where do you get your news?
Online.
What's the least trusted news source for you?
Most of the internet.
Thanks. I like your shirt. What's your most trusted news source?
The New York Times.
All right, thanks. And you feel well informed?
Not really. Kinda.
Well, have a nice day. Thanks, guys.
Hello, ladies. We'd like to ask you just two questions. It's for a school project. It's no big deal. Don't worry. We're not doing the NSA thing or anything like that. Go for it. This is Ivar Laanen. Can I ask you two questions? That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. What is your least trusted news source?
My least trusted Fox News, probably.
How about you?
Same. I don't know.
What is your preferred news source?
Probably like internet, so I can like check all of their sources and go back. Because if they have their own sources, then it's backed up with other information.
So do you feel well informed?
For the most part.
How about you? Do you feel well informed on the news you get?
Yeah, from like the internet or newspapers.
All right, thanks. Have a nice day.
Sir, we've got a question. Just a quick. Oh, come on. Will you answer a question? Yeah, about what? Just the news. I would.
Where do you get your news?
News?
Instagram.
Where do you get your what?
Your news.
Instagram, Vine, Snapchat, and Channel 2 News.
Where do you get your news?
Oh, Instagram.
What's your least trusted news source?
Fox. Facebook too. Well, no,
And
Facebook's cool.
Wikipedia.
All right, thanks, guys.
Alright.
Hi, gals. It's not going to hurt you, and it's not for the NSA.
Where do you get your news?
On the TV.
What's your least trusted news source?
The internet.
And your preferred news source is?
TV.
What TV? What do you like to watch?
I like ABC 7.
And how about you? Where do you get your news?
Probably the internet.
What is your preferred news source?
I don't know. Probably like ABC also.
What is your least trusted news source?
Probably like a gossip news source. I don't know.
All right, thanks. You guys have a nice day.
Excuse me, sir. Could we ask you a quick question? Guys, it's not for anything like that. It's just two questions. Just a real quick question. Go for it.
What's the question?
Where do you get your news?
Where do I get my news? Basically from other people. NNTV, Channel 2 News, yeah. That's about it.
What's your least trusted news source?
What's my least trust? In the news trust. What's my least trust? That what they're saying is not all the way to be true.
Who would that be, though?
Which channel?
Yeah.
I would go with all of them. Yeah, I would go with all of them because they're out here reporting what they see and not knowing the real insight of what it really is. They just up front to share with the people and in a manner just letting you know what's going on, but not really knowing the ramifications around it and surrounding it. Yeah.
So do you feel well informed?
Pretty much. Oh, they go into detail. They try and dig, and they like the paparazzi. They try and get all the information they can. It's nosy. It's nosy. It's nosy.
All right, thanks, guys. Or thanks, sir.
Great.
It's okay. We're gonna see. It's for a school project. It's come on. But go ahead.
Thank you.
Sir, where do you get your news?
My news actually on my iPhone.
What is your most trusted news source?
I go to the San Francisco Chronicle or the Oakland Tribune.
And what is your least trusted news source?
Not really any, because I just go to those two. That's it.
So you feel well informed?
No. I always read the newspaper. I always like to read the newspaper, and I usually get the newspaper here in the morning.
All right, thanks. Have a nice day, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Two questions?
Yes, sir.
Where do you get your news?
KTVU, Channel 2 News.
Is that your preferred news source?
Yes, or Channel 7, ABC Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
What is your least trusted news source?
Sacramento News. Yeah.
Why?
Because they only talk about stuff in Sacramento. They don't talk about the Bay Area and local stuff that I need to know about.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Come on, we got a question. It's really quick. One quick question. It won't even hurt you.
I'm gonna start with you, all right?
All right.
Where do you get your news?
My phone.
Where? Like what apps?
New York Times app.
All right. And is that your preferred news source?
Yeah.
What is your least trusted news source?
Fox News.
All right. And how about you? Where do you get your news?
BBC News.
And what news source do you trust the least?
Probably Fox. I don't know, a bunch of different. I mean, The Onion, because they're not a real news source. Yeah.
Do you feel well informed?
Most of the time. I mean, my parents talk about news a lot at dinner, so yeah.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Where do you get your news?
Cron 4.
And what is your least trusted news source?
The people on the streets.
Do you feel well informed?
No. I feel like even the weather people don't know what they're talking about. If they said it was supposed to be 90 degrees today, it feels like 60.
I totally agree. Thank you.
Where do you get your news from?
I get my news from a News Republic website that gives me the latest and greatest. As long as it's not Fox.
Do you feel well informed?
I do.
That's awesome.
No, I don't. Not always.
Let's ask these folks here.
Yeah, how about
Thank you.
How about you? Where do you get your news source?
The same. Cron 4.
What is your least trusted news source?
Fox. I don't like them now.
Why is that?
Because most of the time I know what they're talking about, especially when it comes to weather. Like, they said it was going to be hot today, and as you can see,
It's breezy, so obviously don't know what they're talking about.
Do you feel well informed?
Kind of. I mean, I wish I could get some more information, but it's the news. All you can do is just watch.
How about you? Where do you get your news?
Facebook.
What is your least trusted news source?
My least trusted news source would be, maybe Instagram. Maybe because it's only pictures, but that's why.
Do you feel well informed?
I do feel well informed. I know everything about Kim and Kanye on a daily basis. I know everything that's going on with my best friends and what they're doing and why they're doing it. So I feel pretty well informed.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Where do you get your news?
I usually get my news like just from people talking, or if I'm interested in it, I'll look it up on NewYorkTimes.com.
What's your least trusted news source?
Fox News. Why? Because I don't think they always report the facts.
Do you feel well informed?
Yes.
How about you? Where do you get your news?
Either online or my parents will ask my dad because he always is reading news online, that kind of thing.
What's your least trusted news source?
Probably Facebook or I don't know, Yahoo. I don't know.
Do you feel well informed?
Some not verified websites, I guess.
Do you feel well informed?
Yeah, I do.
All right, thanks. Have a nice day.
Without the mic. Look at me and do the thing. Perfect. Give me another one. Yeah, that's perfect. And then give me one of these Okay, come on. It's no big deal.
It's no big. It's just...
No, go ahead and ask the question.
A couple questions. Ready? Where do you get your news?
What?
Where do you get your news?
From the phone, from the computer.
What are your news sources? Fox or ABC or NBC?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's the first thing that I see in the television. That's one of the top things that I know about that has news.
What's your least trusted news source?
CNN.
How about you? Where do you get your news?
Just whatever is on the TV when my parents are watching it. I usually just,
Do you know what that usually is?
It's usually Fox or ABC.
What's your least trusted news source?
I don't know. I don't know too much about the news.
You feel well informed?
No, to be honest, I do not. I wish I was more. Should probably look into that.
How about you? Where do you get your news?
Not so familiar with the news. Like she said, I watch the news when my parents are watching the news. I just glance at the TV and that's it. I don't really pay attention to any news. And yeah.
All right, thanks. Have a nice day, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, yeah.
I came out here to find out what news sources people trusted, and I found out nobody has a fucking clue. I came out here today to find what news...
Right again. Hold on. And go.
I came out here today...
Sorry, my fault. Go for it again.
I came out here today to find out what news sources people trusted. And what I found out is no one has a damn clue.
Hey guys, we're doing a school project and we wonder if we could ask you a quick question. Just a quick question. We start with you, Senator? Do you mind?
Depends who are you guys with?
School project.
School project? Oh.
Yeah.
You go first.
Yeah?
Go for it. Go.
I'm not photogenic.
No, it's fine.
Oh, I got a filter though.
You guys
You're
are leading.
fantastic.
Okay.
Sir, where do you get your news?
Generally get it online. Sometimes some periodicals I'll read, but mostly I get it online.
What is your least trusted news source?
CBS, NBC News, video, in TV stations and radio stations. I'd say those are the ones that I look to the least.
Why is that?
I feel those are most influenced by economic pursuits than by journalistic or journalistic goals. They're more about economic goals. That's not always at odds, but That's just what I feel generally.
Do you feel well informed on your news?
Well, I'd have no way to know, but I try.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day. Ask you a couple questions for my interview, for my project.
It's for a high school project.
High school project?
Yeah, it's no
So I would love to know what's going on. What's the project?
It's just.
I'm asking about the news.
The
About
news?
what news? What your news?
There's nothing to worry about.
Oh, okay. So
Go for it.
Where do you get your news?
New York Times.
What is your least trusted news source?
I mean, I'm interested in Middle East, in Afghanistan and Pakistan. So, totally, I'm interested in politics, and also I'm reading different articles. So, I really like the opinion section of New York Times. I love it.
Do you feel well informed?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So far so good. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Looks like it. Oh yeah. Good. These two. Right?
They look busy. They're gonna walk right by us.
All right. Here, watch that. Hi guys. Hey, we're gonna ask you a real quick question. Oh, it's so fun. Go for it. Go. No. Come back.
Told you they were gonna.
Hey guys, can I ask you a quick question? No. We're going to ask your dog a question.
Can I ask your dog a question?
Ask your dog.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where do you get your news? Do you trust your news sources?
Bark.
And why is that? Thank you.
Hi. Can we ask you a quick question? News. Stuff. It's all yours, Big Daddy.
We're interviewing here. Well, we're here in Walnut Creek and Berkeley interviewing people about what news sources they enjoy, what news sources they don't like, and what do they not.
News sources. Yeah, that's very good. Anytime.
We're here in Walnut Creek and Berkeley interviewing people about what news sources they trust and do not trust. Let's see what people know. Do you guys want to be in a movie for Northgate? No? It's just a couple questions. Nothing new. Just a couple questions. Senior project. All right, that's fine.
Don't be afraid. Just go for it. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
All right, let's go.
Right here.
Gals, I have a couple questions I want to ask you. It's really simple. You guys mind? Yeah? What is where do you get your news?
Wait, what? CBS. Yeah. CBS.
Is that your favorite news source?
Not really. It's just whatever's on when I turn the TV on.
What is your least trustworthy news source?
I don't think I have one.
All right, thank you. How about you? Can I ask you?
She watches the Spanish news.
Come on.
How about it?
A couple questions.
There you go.
Where do you get your news?
The Northgate Sentinel.
What is your most trustworthy news source?
Probably the San Francisco Chronicle.
And what news source do you trust the least?
Not the Northgate Sentinel.
Thank you. Can I ask you a couple quick questions?
Sure.
All right. Where do you get your news?
Television.
What is your most trusted news source?
Television or internet. What
station?
You know what? We've just moved here from Australia, so I'm just sort of whatever's on the. I think it's I can't remember. I'm so sorry.
All right, thank you.
Sorry.
That's all right. I got a couple quick questions for you, if you don't mind. It's for a movie. Yeah.
Go for it.
Where do you get your news?
My news from the news station.
What news station?
Today in the Bay.
Is that your most trusted news source?
I guess, yeah.
What is your least trusted news source?
CNN.
All right, thank you.
I got a couple quick questions,
if you don't mind.
About
the news.
about the news.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy.
Okay.
Just about the news.
Go for it. Go for it.
It's for our senior project.
Okay.
Where do you get your news?
On television.
What station?
Whatever station I just happen to turn it on to.
What is your least trusted news source?
I don't know. That's a good question that I don't know off the top of my head right now. But go on.
Oh, thank you. I got the answer I needed.
Perfect.
Would you like to answer?
Oh, sure.
Please do.
Where do you get your news?
TV, CNN, Channel 2, NBC.
What is your most trusted news source?
Don't know. I don't believe everything I see or hear, so I don't trust any of them all the way. So.
Is that the same with the least? Is that you don't really know?
Mhm.
Do you feel well informed?
Not by just watching one channel, no. So I like to do my research online, newspapers, other TV channels, do my own.
Where do you get your news? Thank you guys so much. Questions for you.
Sure.
Where do you get your news?
You mean on TV or internet?
Yes. What station? What news source?
Oh, all of them, like ABC, CBS, afternoon news, evening news.
What is your most trusted news source?
I don't know. I don't have one. Yeah.
What is your least trusted news source?
Probably Fox News.
Do you feel well informed?
I think so. Yeah.
Thank you.
For what?
For our senior project. It's about the news. It's real simple. Where do you get your news?
Many different sources. The internet, newspaper, TV, all kinds of different places.
What is your most trusted news source?
Well, I think they all need to be questioned. I don't think anyone is more trusted than the other. So both TV, I think TV and print, probably print more than TV.
And in particular, like CNN or one of those companies?
No, just different stations where I think it's a balanced news broadcast as opposed to being geared toward one political party or the other. So Fox isn't balanced, so I don't listen to Fox. CNN is a lot of drama, so they bring up the underbelly of society and want to talk about all the graphic, horrible stories, and I'm not always into that. So it's a balance of stories.
Do you feel well informed?
I'm very well informed.
Thank you.
Okay.
Where do you get your news?
From the TV.
What's your most trusted news source?
I'm not sure. I don't really watch the news that much.
What is your least trusted news source?
Fox News.
Do you feel well informed?
Sort of. Not really.
All right, thank you. For our project.
Oh, okay. I remember those.
Where do you get your news?
Project Censored.
Is that your most trusted news source?
Yes, it's completely trusted.
What is your least trusted news source?
Fox.
Do you feel well informed?
By Project Censored, yes.
Thank you.
I got a couple questions for you.
Very quick.
Oh, you're right.
For you.
What's going on?
And the first one is, where do you get your news?
Fox News.
Is that your most trusted news source?
It is. I don't watch a lot of other ones though.
What is your least trusted news source?
I only watch Fox News.
All right, thank you.
Have a nice day.
Sir, I got a couple questions. Questions for you in the first one.
You gotta like here. Get this. Hey, go for it. Go.
I got a couple questions for you guys.
Oh, it's easy. How about you?
What's the question?
It's about the news. Real simple. For a senior project.
Senior project?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it going to go on the news channels? Okay.
That'd be cool, but where do you get your news?
Internet.
What in particular? What networks?
I read.
What is your most trusted news source?
I read from Real Clear Politics, and so that gives me an opportunity to grab from all sorts of different sources. So then I get
to look at all sorts of different newspapers and different news outlets, and so I can make my own opinion.
What is your least trusted news source?
MSNBC.
Do you feel well informed?
I am very well informed, but only because I read. I don't watch the news.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day.
Go.
Where do you get your news?
From the internet.
What networks in particular?
Usually I just go on yahoo.com or any of the local newspapers. I like to go local news first.
What is your most trusted news source?
You know what? Probably. I don't know. That's a toughie. I don't go on them like that. I just go on Yahoo. Let's keep it real.
What is your least trusted news source?
Wikipedia. I always tell my students not to use it.
Do you feel well informed?
I do with my local community, but not in my world. Definitely could do more research on that.
All right, thank you. I have a couple questions for you. And I have a couple questions, and the first one is I have a couple. It's for my senior project.
What project?
It's for my high school project to graduate.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice. You're going to graduate when?
I don't really know yet.
You haven't decided on a college yet?
No. I'm probably going to go to DVC.
That's a good school.
Yeah.
Good.
That's what I'm going to do.
Who's
Very
interviewing
nice.
who?
Can I ask you a couple questions
Yes.
about the news?
Pardon?
Where do you get your news?
On the computer.
What networks in particular?
What one? Xfinity, you mean?
No, where do you like what networks do you get the news from, like what companies or
I do. See, Drudge Report, and I do Seattle Como, and, all of those different ones.
What is your least trusted news source?
I don't trust many of them. I don't trust many of them. You got the nicest smile, beautiful teeth, and gorgeous blue eyes and blonde hair. You better go to a college and a good one and stay for a long time.
Thank you.
A lot of good luck to you.
Have a nice day.
You too.
You. And the first one is, where do you get your news?
My news, ABC7.
Is that your most trusted news source?
Yes.
What is your least trusted news source?
I don't have cable TV, so I just watch ABC7 news on my laptop.
And do you feel well informed?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, that's cool.
Can I ask you questions?
Oh, sure.
Where do you get your news?
I get it online at websites. I like to watch CNN and BBC. So yeah, and I also read the newspapers. So that's cool.
What is your most trusted news source?
Probably BBC or CNN.
What is your least trusted news source?
BuzzFeed, the internet, because I know the internet can have a lot of lies on it and things like that. So I trust TV and newspapers more.
Do you feel well informed?
Yes, I do. I do. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, I have a couple questions for you, if you don't mind. It's about the news. For you, and the first.
I'll answer your question.
Yes.
Later though.
We're gonna.
From the newspaper.
What is your most trusted news source?
The New York Times.
What is your least trusted news source?
Oh. Fox.
Do you feel well informed?
Yes.
Thank you. Ladies, I have a couple questions for you, and the first one is, where do you get your news?
The internet probably most of the time, as well as news shows at 5:30 or so.
What is your most trusted news source in particular?
I probably most trust. I don't know. What do you think? 5:30. I mean, NBC News and the World News tonight.
What is your least trusted news source?
Probably the internet, depending on the site.
Do you feel well informed?
Usually.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
And the first one is, where do you get your news?
My news? On Facebook, I guess.
Is that your most trusted news source in particular?
No, of course not.
What is your most trusted news source?
My news probably be Channel 2 Fox News, right, baby? Or what do you watch? Channel 2 and Channel 7.
What is your least trusted news source?
I don't know. Probably Facebook.
All right. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Do you feel well informed?
Nah, sometimes, yes.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah. Have a nice day.
Let's
Sir, I have a couple questions for you. And the first one is, where do you get your news?
Not now, sorry.
All right. It's really quick. Just give me a second. It's for a school project.
Okay.
Where do you get your news?
Online.
What news sources in particular?
I don't know. Like Reddit.
What's your most trusted news source?
I don't know. Do you have an answer for this? The newspaper. Yeah, the newspaper.
Is there any news source you trust the least?
Probably like local news.
Do you feel well informed?
Yeah, I do.
Thank you. It's about the news. Yeah. Where do you get your news?
Like Contra Costa Times.
Is that your most trusted news source?
Sure. yeah.
And what is your least trusted news source?
Like Twitter. I don't know. Websites.
Do you feel well informed?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Ask you a couple questions. Where do you get your news?
The Daily Show.
Is that your most trusted news source?
Yeah.
What is your least trusted news source?
Fox News.
Do you feel well informed?
By The Daily Show? Yeah, and then I go online for stuff.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day.
BBC as well.
Okay. Sir, I have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
Where do you get your news? Oh, it's for Where do you get your news?
Fox.
Is that your most trusted news source?
I believe so.
And what is your least trusted news source?
MSNBC.
Do you feel well informed?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Have a nice day. A couple questions for you. Where do you get the news?
Mostly through newspapers, the internet, and television.
What's your most trusted news source?
You know, I don't think I would have one.
What's your least trusted news source?
I don't think I have one of those either. I look at them just about equally.
Do you feel well informed?
For the most part, yes.
How about you? Where do you get your news?
All the same. I get mine from the newspaper, the internet, and TV.
What is your most trusted news source?
I'd have to go with the Colbert Report.
And least trusted?
Daily Show, Jon Stewart.
Do you feel well informed?
Yes.
I like your shirt.
Thank you. I like yours as well.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Sir, I have a couple questions for you. The first one is...
On Reddit.
Is that your most trusted news source?
I don't trust any news source.
What is your least trusted news source?
Any of the major ones. CNN, NBC, ABC, Fox.
Do you feel well informed?
I'm well informed.
Thank you. Have a nice day. I have a couple questions for you.
Oh, I'm in a hurry.
All right. Sir, I have a couple questions for you. And the first one is, where do you get your news?
Out of Sacramento.
What is your most trusted news source?
CNN.
What is your least trusted news source?
Newspaper.
And do you feel well informed?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day.
Cheers.
Sir, I have a couple questions for you. And the first one is, where do you get your news?
Online mostly.
What news sources in particular?
Mostly just Reddit.
What is your most trusted news source?
Probably The Daily Show or Colbert Report.
And what is your least trusted news source?
Fox, MSNBC, CNN, pretty much the major news channels.
Do you feel well informed?
Not particularly, no.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day. Hey, I got a couple questions for you. It's for a school project. Where do you get your news?
The internet.
What is
Or
your
newspaper.
What is your most trusted news
News source, probably the Contra Costa Times or the internet sources, MSN or
What is your least trusted news source?
probably TV.
Do you feel well informed?
Informed enough.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Just dive in.
Hi. I have a couple
I love
questions
your
for
outfit,
you.
by the way. You
Thank
are
you.
great.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Quick questions. Where do you get your news?
Without telling me.
Where do you get your
news?
My news from Channel 4. Hello. I'm a Channel 4. Used to be a 2 and I'm a 4. Who are you with?
I'm with Northgate High School.
Oh, how you doing, high school? This your senior project? Oh, you look good. You look good, and your cameraman looks good as well. Don't forget Happy Mother's Day. God bless.
Yeah, ask me another question.
What is your most trusted news?
I used to be Channel 2 because I'm from East Oakland, but now I'm in Fairfield, so I go to Channel 4.
What is your least trusted news source?
Channel 40. 40, because I don't watch 40. 40 Fox. 40 Fox, yeah. You got to excuse me, my allergies and my sinuses were in the air. It's hard to be gorgeous. Okay, are we done? Okay, that's a wrap. God bless.
Do you feel well informed?
No, it could be better. It could be better. It could be so much better, but it could always be worse. I could have no television. When they get smell-o-vision, I'll be ready. God bless. I gotta go.
That's awesome.
Ask these guys. Hey, couple questions. Hey guys.
Hey, I got a couple questions.
Okay. Let's ask these.
School project. Got a couple questions for you. Where do you get your news?
Fox News.
What is your most trusted news source?
The internet.
What is your least trusted news source?
The ABC, NBC, CBS.
Do you feel well informed?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.